Hi all and welcome to a new video. In this video, we will see a special case of duplicate data in SQL. For that, we are going to use a table called as country continent, and on this table we will see the special case. Let me query the table and then I will take you through the schema and the question. So here is our table which has two columns, which is country and continent, and each country has been mapped to multiple continents. But this is not right. And one more thing before going to the question, the table is having 24 rows. Now coming to the question, it's given that for all countries that have multiple rows in the country continent table, delete all multiple records, leaving only one record per country in the master table. That is, we have to modify this master table. It is not that we have to write a query simply to eliminate the duplicate records, but instead we have to actually modify the records inside the master table and we have to correct the master table. And I have created a sample table in Excel so that we can take a closer look at the actual input and the expected output. And this is our actual input table, which has two columns, country, continent, and these are the records. And if we take the example of Canada, we can see that it has been mapped to two different continents. But this is wrong. Canada can only be mapped to North America. This record is wrong. The second one. Then coming to China, it has been mapped to Asia, South America. But actually, China should be mapped only to Asia. Similarly, Egypt has been mapped to two different continents. Finland has been mapped to three different continents. India has been mapped to two different continents. Italy and Japan has the similar case. But we have to remove all the duplicate data from the parent table or the master table, and we have to get a similar output from the actual master table. That is our aim in this video. So going back to SSMS, let us start writing the query. And before writing the query, there is one more condition given here, that is the records that you should keep should be the first one when sorted by country and continent in alphabetically ascending order. That is, I will order the result once. So we are sorting the table based on country and continent in ascending order. I'm executing it. Now the record that you should keep should be the first one when sorting by country and continent in alphabetical ascending order. That is, here if we take the case of Canada, it has been sorted in ascending order based on country and continent. Now we have to keep the first record, that is Canada, North America. And coming to China, we have to keep the first record, that is China, Asia. And coming to Egypt, we have to keep Egypt, Africa. That is the first records within the partition based on country we have to keep. That is the condition given here. Now let us start writing the query. So select. The first column is country, second one is continent, and now we are going to use a raw function, that is row number, which is basically a window function, row number. Now inside the over clause, partition should be based on country column, that is partition by country. Now order by the same ordering condition, that is country comma continent ascending, that is both are in ascending order. And we'll give a name for this column, which is RWNUM, which is row number. Now this is taken from the table country continent, country underscore NT. Now let us run this query and see what is the result. Now we have created a table with one additional column, that is row number, based on which we can basically filter this data and remove the duplicate records. Now let us keep this query inside a subquery and delete the duplicate records. We can get the unique records. Select. Now the column which we need are country and continent. So we'll take only the required columns, country, continent, and from. And the below query is actually a subquery we are considering here. Now giving an alias name. Next we will write a where clause on the row number column, and the condition is where row number equal 1. Now let us run this query and we will get an output which is similar to our actually expected output. So now if we come down, we only have 15 records. That is, initially when we saw the table, we had 24 records, and now we only have 15 records. That is, we have removed the duplicate records. But in the question, it is asking us to modify the master table. That is, we have to modify the master table. It's not that we have to write a query to get the unique records, but instead we have to modify the master table and delete duplicate records from the master table. Now what we can do is, let us query the master table once and see if the master table is even now having duplicate records, but definitely it will have, because we haven't done any transformation on the master table. Now also this table will be having 24 records because we haven't done any transformation on the same. Now what we can do is, we will use one new concept, that is temporary table. Create table. We are creating a temporary table, that is temp table. We can give any name. So this is the syntax to create temporary table. We should put a hash function before the table name. That time the table will be considered as a temporary table. The specialty of temporary table is that it will only exist within this session. So now once we close this session, that table will be automatically deleted. So in this case, we can actually use a temporary table which will be stored in the temporary memory basically. That is, it won't create a actual new table, but a virtual table will be created inside the temporary memory. So inside this table, we want two columns. The first column is country and the data type is nvarchar, and let us give the size be 50. And the second column is continent. The data type is same. Now let us execute this query and a table will be created. Now what we can do is, we can insert the result from this query, that is the first query, into this temporary table. Let us do that now. That is, insert into this temp table, select. We can copy this query. We don't have to write the query once again. We can copy this, copy. Let us paste it over here. Now let us run this query. Now we got a message such that 15 rows are affected. That is, this temporary table got modified. Now let us write a select star on this temporary table and see what is the table having. Select star from temporary table. Now it will have the 15 records without any duplicates. That is the unique actual record. Now we have to insert this data into our actual country continent table. For that, first let us delete all records from the country continent table. That is, delete from country underscore continent. Here we are not providing any where condition, so that all records will be deleted from the country continent table. Execute this. 24 rows are affected. That is, all records from country continent table is deleted. Now if we query the country continent table, the table will be blank. Let us do that once. Let us copy the table name, paste it here. Now let us execute this. See, the table is actually blank. Now what we can do is, we can use this temporary table data to insert data into this country continent table. That is, insert into country underscore continent table, and after that we can use a select star from temporary table, this one, hash temp table. Copy this. Let us put it over here. Now let us run this query and see what is happening. Now again we got a message, that is 15 rows are affected inside the country continent table. Now let us execute this select star query on the country continent table once again and see the result. Execute this. Now we have obtained a result in which the country continent table is having only 15 records. Earlier we had 24 records. And now let me copy the whole table and let us compare with the expected result that we discussed initially. Now if we compare these results, we can see that we have unique records and the output is exactly matching. Yeah, I believe this video might be useful for you, and thanks for watching. And if you like the video, subscribe our channel. Thank you.